A system in crisis and out of control. That's how the Department of Justice described Georgia's state prison system.
After an 8-year investigation, tonight the DOJ says the conditions inside Georgia's prisons are unconstitutional. The feds are now demanding the state take immediate action. Atlanta News First reporter Patrick Quinn spoke with justice leaders who found in recent years Georgia prisoners are being killed inside prisons at 3 times the national average.
Tonight, the U.S. Justice Department dropping the hammer on Georgia prisons, saying the state is allowing for unsafe and unconstitutional conditions.
People are assaulted, stabbed, raped, and killed.
The system out of control. From Macon and Columbus to Savannah and Augusta, up from Atlanta to Rome and Gainesville.
The Justice Department just released this 93-page report that found the Georgia Department of Corrections is in violation of the 8th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which protects prisoners from cruel and unusual punishment.
We can't turn a blind eye to the wretched conditions and wanton violence unfolding in these institutions.
Kristen Clark, the U.S. Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, said since 2016, DOJ investigators found persistent understaffing, under-supervision, illicit drug use by Georgia prisoners, and a rampant gang presence. The Justice Department alleges the state has failed to protect prisoners from violence and harm, and that's especially true for LGBTQ prisoners.
Our findings reveal that the leadership at the Georgia Department of Corrections has lost control of its facilities.
I reached out to the Department of Corrections. They took offense to the report, alleging federal prisons are just as bad. A spokesperson for the state wrote, quote, DOJ's findings reflect a fundamental misunderstanding of the current challenges of operating any prison system. And DOJ's track record in prison oversight is poor, often entangling systems in years of expensive and unproductive court monitoring. For the Justice Department, fixes in Georgia's prisons started adding more staff, creating a better housing system, and improving how they report problems so they don't persist.
It's time to turn the page. We hope that our report marks a new chapter for people held inside prisons across the state.
Now, what's next? The DOJ says they actually want to work with the state to fix these issues, but said consent decrees, which are more legally binding agreements, could be implemented. Also, the DOJ said if the state does not act reasonably with appropriate actions within 50 days, they could file lawsuits. From downtown Atlanta, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
Vice President Kamala Harris